whispered into my ear 2 videos before you clicked on this one that you want to succeed. You do not want to bleed, and so you seek success in many distinct aspects of your life. You want to succeed in your relationship. You are looking for success in education. You desire success in your careers. And as much as you may not know what it looks like, you crave success, even in existence. Am I right? You need not answer. Look at your face, awash with ponder. I already know, and your desire is very valid. Look to the views, and you would see that many others who have been here before you are also on the quest for success. Some haven't spent months, years, and even decades on this adventure. But it is unfortunate that not all who seek shall find. Or better put, many lack the endurance to persist long enough to triumph in this adventure because of one fundamental element of success: failure. Everybody who has been to this shrine has failed at something before. But as relatable as it may seem, nobody likes to admit to failure. As the high-tech fetish priest that I am, who does data analysis of my clients, here is a pie chart to prove that everybody has failed before. And as you can see, I do not need a pie chart to prove that, because way before we made contact with each other, human beings all across the face of the earth lived in caves. Caves, success. The point is, the African did not teach the Native American how to live in a cave. The Englishman did not waltz into Asia saying, "Oi mate, hello there governor, let me show you the new way to brave the elements in your sleep, and it is by living in caves." Cheers. Living in caves was born out of our inherent human need for shelter. In the same vein, failure is an inherent part of a human being being human. But truly, it is one of the uncomfortable topics that can be brought up. Perhaps the fear of failure is embedded in our limbic system because of how tough our ancestors had it millennia ago. Back in the day, failure had dire consequences, you know. Imagine hunting for food as a hunter-gatherer, fighting a wild boar about half my height. Failure to overpower and kill this beast could mean getting fatally maimed, or worse, losing your life. But the human race is far advanced and atop the food chain now. So I believe it's high time we reformed the way we perceive failure. This is TEDxAshesi University, so I would narrow my message down to the university setting. However, if it applies to you in a different context, feel free to bathe in it. Let me tell you about the last person who was here before you. His name is Joshua Mahama, affectionately known as Hama by his friends and fans. You are probably wondering, hey, if he's telling me about his last client, what will he tell his next client about me? Get off your high horse. You threw away ethics when you decided to come into my shrine for success. But me telling you about Hama is because the spirits tell me that it is a reflection of your story. You can find a reflection of yourself in his story. Hama was a bright student in basic school who did not need to go back to his notes or textbooks after class to ace his exams and tests. I recall a story he told me about how he was abused in class 2 by his seniors in class 6 when they burst his lip because he went to read a book that they could not read in class 6. Things worked out for him in his smartness and brightness and not going back to school until he got to Ashesi University. Ashesi University, the Harvard of Africa. People like to boast that, oh, the A grade in my school is 80%, the A grade in my school is 90%. But I feel that the failing grade is where it's at, and it is not emphasized enough. That scoring 50% and below is tantamount to failure. Therefore, what might be considered average elsewhere would simply not cut it at Ashesi. Back to Hama. It's quite difficult for me to place whether he had become complacent or fresh out of high school, he was enjoying and exploring the limits of his newfound freedom. At least by being present back in basic school, he could hear what was taught to him in class. But now, he was not even going for class. And he was being lackadaisical with his coursework, thinking that he was going to wing it in the same way. But alas, that was not to be. He failed miserably and eventually was dismissed from the school. And that's when he heard of the power of Amada and came to visit me. He came complaining bitterly about the unfairness of the school's grading system and how it did not tally with the gargantuan nature of the workload that was being given to them, quoting all sorts of quotes, including the famous, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will forever live its life thinking that it is done forever. Oh my God, I can't believe he was saying this. And all I could hear when he was babbling on and on with these quotes is, it wasn't me. And I knew that I failed though. It wasn't me. Pardon me. I therefore asked him, tell me if things had not turned out this way and you had rather excelled or even popped up on the dean's list, would you have attributed the success to the same unfair grading system? Singing, it wasn't me. I also reached into my famous bag of quotes and threw one from Charles Swindoll at him. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. Be responsible, I told him. Avoid the blame game and introspect deeply. True, you cannot succeed without failing, but your failures will never lead you to successes if you do not take responsibility for them. Because even if you win, we would attribute all your wins to everything and everyone around you, excluding you. Because when you failed, it wasn't you as well. Tony Robbins says, be intentional about your success. Do not rely on your luck. Be deliberate about being successful. And one way to be deliberate about being successful is owning up to your failures when you fail. Once again, Tony Robbins, I call on you, on your famous quotes, that the only thing keeping us from what we get are the stories we keep telling ourselves about why we cannot have them. Hama embodied this when he came and he was telling me stories about how he was not academically inclined like the other students and it was going to be harder for him to turn the tables of his academic misfortune. Yada, 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 yada. And one thing came to my mind. He lacked focus. Why waste your time and focus comparing your life to others when they are running their own race? Focus on you. If you have decided to put in the work, focus on the quality of your hard work and your journey. What people show us about themselves is not a true reality of their lives. And I love how the tree put it. They say CSA. That's what it means to get dressed. Oh, CSA. They say CSA. Literally, this tree word CSA, which means that be well presented or get dressed, literally means hide. See means hide. So it means there's a lot we do not see or know about other people when they CSA themselves and come outside. Even some of the people close to us, we do not know. So we have no reason to compare our full lives to their 31% that we are shown. Focus, my son. Focus and CSA yourself. Even if there would be a comparison, would you not want it to be the other way around? Where you are the excellent fellow. You can get there. You have the chance to start today. You are the author of your story. A new blank page is open for you every single time. Therefore, if you feel that the story is too monotonous, insert a plot twist today by putting in the work. Insert the plot twist by putting in the work. Perspective is everything if you want to succeed, especially if you want your failure to lead you to success. Sometimes we take W's and sometimes we take L's. Make sure to define those L's as lessons, not losses. Embrace failure and the emotions that it brings with it. Process it, but make sure you do not wallow in the regret that it brings. Take less time and feel sorry for yourself. After each failure, be a sucker for pain, and then you would become numb to pain, because after you are hit so many times, you do not feel it anymore. Barbara Corcoran says, when you are hit, pop back up and take another hit. If you keep coming and easily brushing the dirt off your shoulder like Jay-Z, you shall always hit the finish line. There is time for everything. And a wise woman once told me, work hard, play hard. At the time, I took it at a very minimal face value level, until I eventually realized that if you spend your work time playing, guess what is going to happen? You are going to spend your playtime working. Work hard during work time so that you can play hard without regret. One last thing, let me give you a quote from my famous quote bag from Henry Longfellow. The heights by which great men reached and kept was not attained by sudden flight, but they or their companions were asleep. We're up there toiling in the night. I can foresee Hama succeeding in life, succeeding in his Ashesi journey by taking these advices and also